I don't know, but that's the word on the curb that's going to be taking place. But now, you guys knew her. She was on this show before, and we said we were going to have her back again. And here she is, undefeated super lightweight Amelia Moore joins us again. What's up, girl?
Hey, what's going on, Billy? Thanks for
Hey,
having
thanks.
me on.
Hey, listen, thanks for taking the time. I know you're working hard. Um, First and foremost, okay, I'm going to ask you. You knew I was going to talk to you about just like general boxing stuff because I want to get your opinion because you kind of fit into this really well today. Before I get to the title fight you're fighting on the 28th. Um, so my one of my main topics today is I feel boxing should focus on unity instead of division. And I used as examples, I used all of the other parts of boxing, like the professional fight league, bare knuckle boxing. You got Zuffa boxing. You got the misfit boxing. You got the sanctioning bodies all like to be on their own most of the time. The promoters sometimes don't work. So my point is, if all those people could play nice, and instead of being forced to pick and choose which group you want to fight under, wouldn't we have such a great pool of fighters that we could really, you know, weed out the good ones? I mean, to me, that's what boxing's all about. What's your thoughts on that? Because you did fight in a professional fight league, and you got some experience with just this topic.
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't have semi-pro, right, in boxing, and I think that's really where the interesting part of um, having the fight leagues in existence, because you don't get to pick and choose. And my gosh, like, talk about the division right now in boxing, like currently, like you're already seeing how Dana White and Eddie Hearn are kind of going tit for tat right now. It's a very Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, who's the bigger man situation right now. It's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
How much money can we throw around just to show who's more dominant? But I mean, one of the biggest issues is it's always going to be money and authority. Like I think that's where the division comes from. People wanting to be, or whatever sanctioning body, whatever promotion, instead of working together, they're really concerned about holding on to whatever asset they have. And we talked about, I think the last time I was on, we were talking about, protecting fighters. And I don't know, it looks like Zuffa is not doing that. I really like that MVP is giving their champions hard fights. And so, they don't seem to be discriminating. And that's a really interesting take, because I feel like they're kind of reinvigorating the sport in a sense. But yeah, I mean, the division right now is bananas. We are looking at everybody kind of, WBC really trying to hang on to their prestige, and placing themselves, there's the top, we were in the 4-belt era. There's those top 4 big commissions. WBC wants to be the biggest one. They want to hold that prestige. And in a sense, it's also creating division all the way down the line. It becomes a high school cafeteria of which table are you going to sit at,
I know. It's pretty comical, but like I said earlier, at the end of the day, they call it prize fighting for a reason, and you yourself, that you're in this to try to put yourself in the best position financially, and like I also said earlier, fighters are fighters. You're not afraid to fight anybody. I mean, any person that's going to get in the ring and fight, they're not afraid to fight anybody. To suggest so and so is afraid to fight so and so, that's not the case. They're not afraid. They just financially can't work the deal out. And when you have somebody like Dana White and the backing behind him, what I'm thinking is going to happen is the money's going to go there. Yes, the fights are going to be tough, but the fighters are going to be able to make more money. And I think Conor Ben just showed that, and we'll see. And remember, the sanctioning bodies, they get a cut. Somebody else has to lay out the money. You know what I mean? And this guy is kind of doing it himself. But anyway, I got a question before before I ask you my questions, my man Coach is in the chat room. He's asking you a question. He says, what does he say here? I thought, oh, wait a minute. He's giving me, that's the second question. Hold on. This coach drives me crazy. Okay, this is the question. He's saying, Amelia, myself, having spent 2 years in 79, 80, enlisted in the Naval Marine Corps station in Annapolis. While at the Naval Academy, did you fight in the annual brigade boxing championships? He's asking.
I wish I had. I trained for it. I didn't have anybody for me to compete against, and that actually I wanted to so bad, and it kind of is really what pushed me in the direction of being in a more traditional amateur career. Because when I was at the Naval Academy, the coach at the time, who recently retired, he didn't allow women on their competition team, and so it actually pushed me to. I was running like a mile off base to go get a car that I wasn't supposed to have, that was parked in a marina that nobody was supposed to know about, and driving 20 minutes out to Millersville, Maryland to train with Thomas Langley, who used to be Tony Jetter's coach. And yeah, so I wish I had, but also round of applause for that door being closed, because I never, ever would have pursued more and made my way onto Team USA and kind of being the person that I am today. So unfortunately, I missed that extra little blip on my resume, but man, I tried though. I did. I tried, made the weight, all the wrong ways, and made sure I was ready for it, but didn't have the opportunity.
Coach, always, because we had a guest last week, and he calls me the next day. He's going, that guy, he must know me. Only so many people know that. He was asking me about a coach he had years and years ago, Mike Silver. But anyway, you got a big fight coming up. You're fighting for the NABF Super Lightweight title. So what's your thoughts on fighting for this title? Like, I'm looking at it like this is part of the progression to the end result that you're looking for. What's this fight mean to you in order to obtain that?
Yeah. Like I've said probably 100 times over, always going for progressive fights, right? Like we are looking for those stepping stones to be able to be undeniable and be in the conversation. And I've even like had those moments where people are like, oh, would you fight so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah. However, we have to be in the conversation and get ourselves into the ranking where that's even plausible and the fan base has built, and we're in that place where we've created it, where we are fully on board to be in the conversation. We're driving the narrative, and we have the opportunity to be able to get into the big fights. And that's what this represents for me. Right now, I'm ranked number 2 in the WBO, 5 or 6 or 7 in the WBA. NABF is a great, feed in through the WBC to be ranked in the top 5. So to be ranked in the big 3, in the big 4, in the top 5 is huge, and really places us into that conversation, so that we can start rumbling with the people that we should be rumbling with. And I'm very, very happy that the opponent that Bonnie Hunter accepted the fight. I feel that she's a really great athlete. She's number 2 in Canada, has an amateur background. And I look at other people's records, and I'm just like, people always fight down, and that's not my intention. I mean, I just did 8 4-minute rounds at the Olympic Training Center. Like I don't know why people back away from the opportunity of growth. If you get your ass beat in a training session, congratulations. I hope you encode that and you become better at the next rounds, because, it's just like, people, they want to be big fish in little ponds. And I'm like, ew, that's not, I want to be great, and I want to work with really great people and have that fun and that energy in the gym, but push each other every moment. So that's what this fight's about. This fight's about being dominant and really having a good opponent. And, Bonnie's very tough. She's never been dropped. I'm super strong. I have so many tools in my toolbox, and I train with really amazing people that push me every single day. And my coach has a great, we constantly are strategy, and pushing my strengths, but even pushing my weaknesses even more, so that, it's never, it's never a deterrence to, my capability. Like, we want to keep growing. I want to be, in my training sessions, I get so excited when I have to work through a new challenge. So yeah, that's really what this fight's about, is like, let's keep climbing to be fully in the conversation and not undeniable. I feel like it's going to be on my tombstone.
Listen, what you're striving for, and this is what I love about you. What you're striving for is exactly what I was just talking about, of what I felt could be done if boxing was unified. And I did single out Zuffa Boxing. They were busting my chops. I think I work for Dana White, which I don't. But
They're like, you getting a check? Come on, Billy.
But I wish I would. But the thing is exactly what you're striving for is what they do. Like you climbing the ladder. And an interesting thing, you mentioned fan base. And I look at boxing today and I say, and I've said this a lot, promoters sometimes don't promote. It's up to the fighter. And you yourself have created your own fan base because you have multiple things people can follow you for. But how important is that today for a young fighter to get a fan base and keep them happy?
Yeah, it's everything. My God, look at MVP. They just signed some girl from Brazil with 3 million followers. I don't think she can fight herself out of a wet paper bag. So, I mean, I was joking. I think this is not a PG podcast today. I tell all. Amelia.
Never is. Come on.
I asked one of my female friends who's also a really great boxer, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And she's like, you need to get a boob job. And I'm like, I'm just not going to do it. Like, I'm not doing it, guys. Like, apparently that's what gets you 3 million followers and gets you signed to MVP. So, no, I mean, you're just gonna have to kick that door in and keep leading with skill, and lots of heart. And not our cup size. So, it's everything. It's absolutely everything. You got to be diverse. You have to be versatile. My gosh, my background's in medical and oceanography and science, and here I am learning how to be a publicist, learning how to manage my social media, scheduling posts, working with videographers. I joke all the time that, I'm my own publicist, my own manager, my own, just everything, every coordination piece. But I enjoy that. Like, I like that I'm fully in the driver's seat and working with my team hand in hand, where, you have to know what's going on. And thank God for ChatGPT. I mean, this I know there's this whole conversation about AI and water hoarding, but I've learned so much in that regard. And it used to be that the game was exclusive to the people that had money, and the internet has, and AI has leveled that playing field. And so there's opportunity out there. If you want it, it's available to you to figure it out. But yeah, the PR portion is huge. There's opportunities that are out there that the door opens for whoever has the biggest fan base. And for me, it's grown slowly and organically. However, I want it to be real. I don't want to get famous for some crap. I want to get famous, or, fame, whatever the hell that means. But I want people to know me because I put value into the world. And there's, and I meet really interesting people. There's something they learn something when they're like, man, she's brains and brawn. And every time that you meet her, she's telling you something new and trying to elevate everybody around her. So yeah, it's important, fortunately and unfortunately, but it's the following's always been a big deal. Look at Muhammad Ali. He could sell a damn fight. That's what it was about. Like, who's showing up to watch somebody who can't fight? Well, I say that, and then what I just said earlier, but but people they want to see a good fight, but they want to be entertained. So, which is understandable. They're spending money, right?
It's an entertainment business. I mean, it's a tough one, and especially for the fighters, but it's entertainment. I mean, that's what you're getting paid for. You said you want to be great. My thoughts are the same as yours. And I think, I don't want to mention her name, but she goes around, self-proclaiming things, and is making some outrageous things, and it's always like she's trying to prove. I've always said this: boxing is a unique sport because you don't have to tell anybody how great you are.
Mm.
If you perform in the ring, they'll know it and they'll give you the accolades. Boxing is a sport that, if the fans love what you do and appreciate what you do, you will be taken care of. You will be put on that pedestal. You don't have to tell people to do it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the really beautiful things about this sport. I came up in boxing in Baltimore, DC area. And the first time I ever walked into Upton Gym, it's like they're like, "You're gonna spar," and my coach was like, "Yep." They're like, "We're gonna need you to sign this waiver."
Yeah.
And I mean, it's Upton Gym, Pennsylvania Ave in Baltimore. I mean, what the hell am I doing there? And you go rounds, nobody speaks to you. You get out of the ring, and after you go those rounds, you show your talent. Boxing doesn't have borders when it comes to talent. If they think that, that's a really great thing about it. It doesn't matter what color, gender you are. Like if you're a good fighter, the boxing community is gonna embrace you.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I really feel that way, and that's what makes it special. But yeah, I mean, it's all about how you get loud, right? And I think that's what's really interesting about. I mean, not everybody can do it. I mean, Katie Taylor, the most I've ever seen her speak out was the last fight with Amanda Serrano, and even that was pretty quaint and quiet and to character. She never bad mouths people, and it's like, how do you sell this product and maintain your character? And that's really, I think people struggle with that a lot. They fall into the Money Mayweather and what's been presented before. But Manny Pacquiao, you never saw him break character. He just kind of is himself. Terrence Crawford, kind of just himself, So it's, are you Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia? Or are you Katie Taylor? It's it's kind of like, how do you sell it, and will it work for you?
That's it. It's some things work for some people and doesn't work for others.
Yeah, it's an anomaly, right? Like, what is the cheat code? Because I'd love to know. I mean,
Listen, I could tell you something about this, exactly what you're saying. I've been going through for 25 years. I'm like, what am I doing? But in any event, your opponent, she is tough, Bonnie Hunter. You got a 3-inch height advantage over her. Are you training any differently to make that adjustment, or is that no adjustment for you at all?
I mean, you have to be adaptable in the ring, right? So I think, like, you make a game plan, but also sometimes people stick to a game plan too much, where then they're incapable of thinking outside the box when the tides change. So like height, not really. I mean, I have so much amateur experience that, I mean, I have fought people that are, I mean, gosh, I fought athletes from India that are like 5'11", like crazy. There was a girl in the US, Kimberly Carlson, that I fought in the amateurs in the Olympic trials. I mean, she was almost 6 foot tall, so which is insane at 132. So I mean, 3 inches left or right is not, it doesn't feel like there needs to be like a big adjustment for that. Really, it's about how people manage distance, and that's the game changer. Like, do you have to step down? Do you have to double down? Like, and that's
she comes right at you, right?
Yeah. From what I've seen, it's
yeah.
exactly like, and looking at how people are with their footwork. I mean, it tells everything. Your jab and your footwork will literally, they tattle on you. So that's everything. It's the foundation. If you don't have good feet and you don't understand what the jab does, which is 80% of your game, then I mean, it's pretty easy to figure somebody out pretty quickly.
You got you fighting. I just I got something to comment to you. I watched this. I watched you were saying, oh, they what do you need to do, right? Well, this was kind of funny because on the Misfits boxing, I just happened to be watching this over the weekend. There was this female fight, and
Gosh.
I don't know if you know these girls, but Pearl Gonzalez, She fought Carla Jade. Now, Carla Jade was a lower weight class coming up, and she was challenging for the middleweight title that Pearl Gonzalez had. And they really hated each other, right? Like, real bad. But Carla Jade was this, like, she came out in this pink stuff. It was like a wrestling thing. And even after she got beat up, okay, for the whole fight, she still was acting like she's the one that was making more money because of exactly what you said. She was a looker and she couldn't fight a lick. She couldn't throw punches. I mean, the punches were you could drink a cup of coffee by the time it reached her target. She was that slow, and she was she was undefeated. So anyway, you're 100% right about that, and it's kind of sad sometimes. But March 28th, co-main event. You have any final thoughts on this fight that you could talk about, or I know you're working hard.
Yeah, I mean, totally working hard. There's so much to talk about. A dear friend of mine, I called her a couple weeks ago, and I was like, just hashing the idea of how to get the community in which I grew up to get some more, support and get people to be able to come down and be able to be there. About ticket sales. No, I really just want to give the opportunity for people in the community that I grew up in to actually be able to see what I'm doing. So
they better hurry up. They might not be able to see you soon, right?
I know, right? I'm like, I'm trying to be in this forever. And so we were just hashing ideas, and I was like, man, wouldn't that be cool if we could do a fan bus? And she goes, hold on to that. And so the community came together. We literally, over the last like 5-7 days, we have been able to get 4 local businesses in Norway, South Paris, Oxford Hills, Maine, to fund a fan bus coming from Norway, South Paris, right out of the high school, where they're going to meet people and bring a 38 passenger bus down to Beverly, Mass for the fight. And like, I just like, sometimes it blows me away what you're capable of doing when you just put your best foot forward. And we didn't want it to be a barrier. It's still like, there's not, we're not talking like New York City. We're not talking LA. There's not like this crazy amount of money that, people still, have very much trade jobs. Like I grew up around loggers and, everybody hunts. And it's just like, how do we take away the barrier of making that drive, taking away the expense so that people can, buy their ticket and just be able to just be there and take away the barriers. And so, yeah, we put this whole thing together, put out a press release on Monday, and just trying to get the community involved. And I've had the opportunity to do speaking tours up there with a bunch of the elementary schools and the high schools and talk to the kids. It's like, I came up in a very small area, something like 7 towns make up our school district. There's kids that are on the bus for like an hour coming all the way from, Harrison area all the way to Norway, South Paris to be able to go to school. So that aspect of it, I'm so thrilled. Like this is going to be, I just want to share it, like this is a big thing I've been doing. I've been on this wild journey for like the last 10 plus years, 3 Olympic cycles now. And, just kind of want to give back in this next big moment. My first, it's an interim title, is next, my title opportunity to actually have the opportunity to share it with everybody and get it out there. We made this really cool promo video, my friends and I, and it aired on Nessun. And I'm like, look at us doing big stuff. Like it feels big, like I was in a commercial. It's exciting. And we're doing it. Like, it's literally like me boots on grounds with my friends making phone calls, and we're pulling it off. And, with the Nessun, the commercial, like have to give the thanks to CES Boxing. They have their rebroadcast deal with them. They're like, we'll throw it, if you make a promo, we'll throw it on. And so, that was just, thanks guys, thanks for allowing me to kind of let my wings spread a little bit in that direction. So.
Well, you could see her. It's March 28th. Knockout at the Shore. Check out cesfights.com for tickets. I wish I could be there. Emily Harney was busting my chops to come, and but yeah, it's a little far. It's a little far.
We got group rates for hotels. Okay, everybody, we got group rates for hotels.
you're on your way. You said last time you were on the show, I want to fight every month if I can. Well, you know what? Assuming everything comes out the way you want, you'll be happy when Jill Diamond. I'm sure Jill Diamond will be the one presenting you your belt, and that'll be great. Keep us posted. We'd love to have you back for the next title that you're shooting for.
Oh, I'll leave you with one thought, just because I don't know if you watched the MVP press conference with Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey, and I know
I haven't seen a little of that today. Yes.
Okay. So you know that Ronda Rousey was kind of like, by the way, this is the reason we're doing this. So I'm interested, and I know you're pulling for the idea of Zuffa boxing right now, but from what Ronda said, are they actually going to put their money where their mouth is and truly take care of the athletes? So yes, unifying things does make things more streamlined. It makes more opportunity, but will the opportunity be provided to the athletes? That's the thing. Like if we're dealing with more CEOs and more, money mongering and yada, yada, that's a problem. But if it happens, cool. And that's it. I'm just going to leave you that little controversial devil's advocate.
You know how you're going to know if the money's being doled out?
Athletes will be showing up.
You got it.
Hey.
you got it. So we're in a win-win situation. That's what I'm saying. We're in a win-win situation. We can't lose. Amelia, good luck. And we'll have you back here soon, man.
Love it. Thanks, Billy. It's always a pleasure coming on the show. And anybody that's watching, I hope you guys get an opportunity to come out to the fight. If not, you can find streaming links on my website, ameliamoreboxing.com. It will be live streamed on Boxing TV. So tune in, tap in, and enjoy yourselves till then.
Well, I can't wait. Good luck, man.
Have a great one. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. All right. That's Amelia Moore fighting for her first title. And we had her on here, and we're going to have her back. I love her.